Hi, this is Mary
And Michael
from
Clutter Stuff.
And you go.
Okay, we wanted to do an update about our contest, our 75 subscriber contest. First of all, once again, thank you to everyone who subscribed. Those first 75. We're up to about 113 or 114 now, I think. So
Maybe
thank
higher.
you for all of the folks who have subscribed since then. Our contest is open to all subscribers, new or old. And basically what I wanted to do is two things. Number one, I wanted to remind you about the rules of the contest. So I'll start with that. A couple of you have made videos that I found, because I subscribe to your channels, and but you haven't gone in and put them into the Gleam contest link. I'm using Gleam because there are several different ways that you can enter. Performing each individual task, things like, follow me on Twitter, visit the Clutter Stuff blog, visit the Clutter Stuff YouTube channel. You get a certain number of entries for each of these actions. Go in and do that. One of the actions is that you can submit the link to your video. So if you've made a video and haven't put the link to your video into that box, number one, you're not really getting credit for making the video. Making the video by itself is worth, I think, 2 entries. And there are a lot of other things that you can do and still get entries. I do have several people who have entered the contest who have not made a video. And so, what you want to do is really go in and make sure that you perform all of those actions and get credit for it. Because I think we have one person who has entered and has something like 24 entries in this contest. We have some people who've gone in and only have 3 or 4 entries. So, make sure you click on the link down in the description for the Gleam link.
Have more chances to win.
Exactly. You have more chances to win. I didn't mention this in the last one. What I'm going to try to do, I've got a lot of stuff laying around the house, because I've been a collector for a long time. So a lot of what you're getting, some of it is stuff that, I picked up in stores specifically for a contest. Some of it is, stuff that I have, gotten in subscription boxes, stuff like that. Things that, are great products, but just not really anything that I'm interested in. So, other people might be more interested in them. And so a lot of stuff is stuff, from my personal collection. Did I already say that? I don't know. But a lot of it is stuff that's from my personal collection. So, what I'm going to try to do, because it's in celebration of 75 subscribers, I'm going to try to get the value of the products in the box, the prizes in the box, to be about equivalent to $75. Okay, so ultimately, what you're going to be looking at in this prize box will be something equivalent to one of the best subscription boxes that you would get. I did give a couple of spoilers in the original video, so you can go back and watch that original video. I'll put that link in the description as well. You can go back and watch that original video in order to see what some of the prizes will be. That is not all of the prizes. As I've been going through things, I'm like, oh, you know what, this is something that I can part with. I think people might enjoy this. But you are going to get comic books. You're going to get a couple of vinyl figures, probably at least one T-shirt. Hopefully, if it doesn't fit, I'm sorry. I wear an adult large, so if that's too big or too small, sorry, that's what I have. Maybe you can pass it off to a friend or somebody who wears them. Mary wears. Sometimes we'll get a T-shirt in a box that is hers, and she basically wears them as nightgowns. So, let's see, is that everything? Yeah. So just to kind of sum up the full rules, go back and check out the original video, or I also have a blog post with those rules, and I'll put links to both of those. Actually, I'll just put a link to the blog post because I have the video embedded there as well. Um, and so do that. Click on Gleam. Another thing, in addition to putting the link to the video in the Gleam entry to get your extra entries, there are also a couple of things that you can go back and get daily entries. So if you go back into the link every day, you get more entries every day. A few people have done that successfully and have that's how the one entrant, I guess the one person the one person who has the most entries. That's how they got. I mean they're in the 20s, 24, 26, 29. I don't know, somewhere around there. But that's how they have so many entries is they keep going in every day and they click on those daily bonus entries. You also get bonus entries for if you share the contest link on Twitter, Facebook, and if anyone clicks on that link and comes, so if you do a YouTube video, by all means you can put the Gleam link, the share link in the description for your video, and if anyone clicks on that link to enter the contest, then you get bonus entries for that as well. So you want to get those bonus entries because right now I'd say there's a that one of the people who has entered has a somewhere around 20% chance of winning. So if you want to get in there and increase the odds of winning, you need to get those entries, and that's one of the reasons I like this system. Plus, at the very end, when it all comes down to it, all I have to do is push a button and the winner gets picked. So that's kind of a cool thing for me.
And if you're wondering what's in this big box,
I'm getting that silly. Okay, so in the original contest video, just as a reminder, the question that I want you to answer in your video is, what is the strangest thing or the oddest thing that you collect? It doesn't have to be like a series of things. It can be just, one particular instance. Like say you collect comic books, and you have, a collection of pretty standard comic books, but, you also have this one that's just like this oddball thing, this oddball comic. Like, I mean, I've got a couple, one is Watch Cats. That's kind of an oddball comic I got, just recently within the last couple months. I found it at an antique store of all things. And it's a, parody of Watchmen with cats. It's a strange thing, So anyway, that wasn't my contest, entry, obviously. That wasn't my example, but that's just another example to clarify. One of the things that that I talked about in the entry video, the original contest video, was this thing that I collect that is pretty interesting, and I didn't have it with me at the time, so I didn't have any examples. But basically, during the 60s, 70s, 80s, drug companies would send out special decorated envelopes with a stamp postmarked on the first day of that postmark's entry. They would send them to various doctors with a letter that talked a little bit about the stamp, but then basically tried to sell them a drug. And it's really interesting, especially when you look at some of the drug names. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of these. It's really cool. I mean, it's just such an oddball thing, So here we have, this is a envelope, and you can see what I'm talking about. You can see over on the stamp, the postmark says first day of issue, okay? And over on the right hand side of the envelope is this decoration. It's addressed to, a doctor, somebody such and such MD. So this is the envelope. And then here's the letter that came in the envelope. It's dated July 4th, 1968, which you'll note is the same day as the postmark, same day as the first day of issue of this stamp. July 4th, 1968. And it's this letter. I'm just going to read this to you. Today's First Day cover features an historic American flag. It is issued with First Day ceremonies in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in connection with the 4th of July dedication of a flag plaza and program and service center by the Boy Scouts of America, Allegheny Trails Council. The Boy Scout movement was introduced into the United States in 1910. Incredibly, this means that our first Bobcats, Bears, and Eagles now qualify as senior citizens, a rating some may view with mixed emotions. Be that as it may, more people live longer today and more geriatric patients seek medical help. In many cases, there is nothing wrong organically, but they suffer from general malaise, lassitude, and vague aches and pains. Such patients have reached the mediatric age, that stage in life when they become ideal candidates for mediatric. Mediatric provides balanced amounts of androgen and estrogen, specially selected nutritional supplements, and a mild antidepressant for a gentle mood uplift. It helps many elderly patients lead a more active, useful life. The physical and emotional well-being of patients who are under treatment for specific underlying disorders may also be enhanced by adjunctive steroid nutritional support. When you add Mediatric to the therapeutic regimen, we are confident you'll be pleased with the result. Complete product information is enclosed. I mean, that just gives you an idea. You know, they jump from this historic flag to the Boy Scouts to this wonder drug for senior citizens, as it calls them.
Like they're talking about bears and stuff in there.
Right. Well, that's from the Boy Scouts, yeah. Because in the Boy Scouts they have different levels, and one of them is for bears and bobcats and things like that. Those are like Eagle Scout is the highest one. Okay, here's another one. This is from May 17th, 1968. Okay. Now you can see that this particular stamp celebrates Law and Order. This first day of issue, May 17th, 1968. It was sent to the same doctor by the same laboratory. Here's the letter. This first day of issue stamp comes to you from Washington, D.C. Its purpose is to reaffirm the traditional role of the law enforcement officer as a protector and friend of the citizens he serves. Policing as we know it today followed the development of a local system of self-government in which non-military, non-secret police could function. Perhaps one of the finest tributes we can pay our police is to give them due recognition as regulators and defenders of civic order and community life, duties that must be carried out with unfailing devotion and often at the cost of great personal sacrifice. In therapeutics, too, preventive and protective measures play a prominent role. A decided advantage has been gained in the management of osteoporosis, notably in the post-menopausal woman. Loss of height, an early physical sign, can in many cases be retarded, and low back pain, a frequent presenting symptom, is often dramatically relieved with Formatrix. The combination of estrogen and androgen in Formatrix helps arrest the catabolic process that leads to further loss of bone mass and compression fractures. Formatrix also provides ascorbic acid to help produce and maintain intercellular cement substance of bone matrix. When you prescribe Formatrix, your patients may feel better in other respects too. Added benefits of dual anabolic therapy often include an increased mobility, improvement in muscle tone, sleep pattern, and general well-being. Complete product information is enclosed. So, I'm not going to read any more of them, but I mean, I just find this whole, it's interesting. It's a kind of a crazy sales tactic,
Like they were talking about police and then they
jumped into medicine. Yeah.
Yep.
I find that ironic that they issued a Law and Order stamp in 1968, which, of course, you may be aware if you know anything about history. There were riots in many major cities in 1968. Especially, this is May 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in April of 1968. There were riots all over the country. So I think it's pretty interesting that they, immediately following all of these riots, they issue a Law and Order stamp. But I just this whole collection is full of stuff like that. Just talking about history or something about these stamps and the historical subject of the stamps, and then and then it kind of just like segues into this discussion of the benefits of some specific drug that this laboratory is producing, and how to and see, this collection goes all the way back to I've got some 1963, 1965. Here's actually one from a different laboratory. Let me show you that one. I wasn't going to at first, but hey, why not? Oh, here, this one's good. This is a good one. Excuse me. I know this video is getting long, so hopefully, this is fun for those of you who are sticking around. Okay, so this one I actually have quite a bit of the material that came with it, including the drug information. So I can show you some of that. This is a different laboratory from the first one, from the first two. I just think this is a crazy marketing technique, but it's hilarious to me. Okay, so this is the stamp is women's suffrage. First day of issue, August 26, 1970. Oh, that's 45 years ago. No, let me do that. 35 years ago yesterday. So, does that mean that this is the 85th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment? Hey, look at that. Did you know that 85 years ago women were given the right to vote? Women didn't originally have the right to vote in this country. Anyway, so there's the stamp and that. I know, I tell you, crazy people. So this says, Dear Doctor, the current women's liberation movement is really not a new phenomenon, and this special issue on women's suffrage, 1920 and 1970, reminds us of the fierce and sometimes violent fight waged by some women radicals for the vote early in this century. The celebration of 50 years of votes for women must be tinged with a little sadness because women's suffrage was not specific for the elimination of war, poverty, drunkenness, and other evils it was predicted to be. The status of women has changed greatly in half a century, and probably we all view the results with mixed emotions and trust that the eventual outcome will be favorable. Women have historically suffered from the follies of men, war, alcoholism, etc., as well as from their own physical nature. The risks of childbearing were once very great, for example. Women are also more prone to certain infections, particularly urinary tract infections. Cystitis, for example, affects many more women than men. The advances of medicine have reduced many of these threats to female health, and female life expectancy is now greater than that of males. The discovery of sulfa drugs were landmarks in the advance of medicine. Our product, CoSulfa, sulfachlorpyridazine, is a relatively new sulfa which is well tolerated, rapidly absorbed from the GI tract, and excreted in the urine. CoSulfa is particularly effective against E. coli and Proteus, which cause urinary tract infections. Against these bacteria, CoSulfa is more effective than other leading sulfas and is markedly less inactivated by acetylation. CoSulfa, which produces high systemic blood levels as well as high urine concentration, is therefore particularly valuable for urinary tract infections such as cystitis and pyelonephritis. CoSulfa is I don't know. CoSulfa is supplied as 0.5 gram tablets. Recommended adult dosage for mild infections such as cystitis, urethritis, and prostatitis is 2 tablets 3 times daily after meals. Prophylactic dosage for adults is 1 tablet 2 or 3 times daily. We will appreciate it if you will prescribe CoSulfa when indicated for urinary tract infections. Full prescribing information is enclosed. If you desire samples of CoSulfa, please return this coupon. And so what I have is there's also a kind of an information sheet. Again, it focuses on the stamp at the top and has a little paragraph about the stamp, and then has it's a list of products by this particular drug company. And then on the back, it just has more information about the company. And it also came with this is the coupon for samples of CoSulfa, and this is a little card file, that folds out, and has all of the information about the drug, all of the details and everything about the drug in there, so that doctors could stick that in their, uh, you know, index card files, and it would stick out. It had this little tab that says Cool Soul Club. So I thought this was a great one when I got it, because I mean, number one, you know, it's topical. It's kind of it's even to a certain extent kind of humorous in the way that it talks about women, but not. I mean, humorous to one degree, not so funny to another degree. But anyway, so these are some of the strange things that I collect. You know, if you don't, if nothing you know, you don't have to have something this strange though. As I said earlier, um, it's you know, even just like one item. If you know, you might collect something that's pretty, you know, straightforward, pretty, run of the mill, but there's this one item that's kind of weird, you know, that's enough. That's all I'm really asking for. I like kind of strange things and weird things. So, um, you know, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we can, and you can see I've got quite a few of these letters. I've actually collected these over years with a number of different auction houses and things like that, which is how I have different companies and things. Is I'll find them kind of randomly tossed in with these big lots of this type of material. So anyway, that's all. Remember to go to the description box, get a link to the contest entry, and get and you can have a link to the entry form and a link to the rules. Okay? Good luck to everyone. Bye.